Exclusive contract novel from Feilu Novel Network. Open S3 money shortage, forced to become entertainment king. Zhang Chi travels through parallel worlds and activates the black technology system. I thought I would become a research guru, but unfortunately, I had to consider making money first because I didn't have research funding. Fortunately, in this world where entertainment is scarce, I can also become a copycat. No Makeup, The Funeral of the Rose, Rice Fragrance, In the Name of the Father, a series of popular songs once led the entire entertainment industry, and at that time, he was undoubtedly the king. To everyone's surprise, Zhang Chi actually withdrew from the circle. 0.01 nanometers chip, lithography machine, controllable nuclear fusion. After retiring from the industry, Zhang Chi quietly invested the money he earned into scientific research, and then various black technologies were successfully developed, allowing Huaxia Technology to progress for more than a century. As is well known, scientific research is about burning money. Although Zhang Chi made a lot of money back then, he couldn't withstand the constant burning. 5 years later, he was told that he had run out of money at the Hicks Flying GateHelpless. Zhang Chi had to make a comeback and continue making money, and when he learned that the former king had developed so many black technologies to benefit the country, the whole internet exploded. This is the star. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Damn it, the lack of research on the Hicks Flygate. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Damn it, I'm running out of money to study the Hicks Flygate again. After the end of a certain music festival. The reporter who had been waiting for a long time quickly surrounded the newly emerged celebrity singer Wang Yu. Hello, Teacher Wang. I would like to ask, nowadays many people feel that the music industry lacks innovation and the overall level is not as good as before. What do you think of this? This question is very sharp and can be said to directly point to the key. Nowadays, the music industry in Xia country is mixed with good and bad, with uneven quality. Various popular singers are popular, and the saliva songs they create are simply unbearable. Nowadays, the Chinese music industry is falling apart, and there have been many criticisms from the outside world. I don't agree with your view. Every era has its own trend, not that the present is not inferior to the past, but that people's consciousness and concepts have changed, and the creation of music will naturally change accordingly. Wang Yu's face slightly changed. As one of the most popular streaming singers today, I am very dissatisfied in my heart. Why can't we say that now is not as good as before? The songs created by Wang Yu and others now incorporate a large amount of English and rap, clearly aligning with international standards and going global. Is it comparable to the backward era before? In the past, there used to be excellent songwriters like Zhang Chi, and every song could become a classic known to women and children. However, nowadays, even young people cannot accept songs. How can this be explained? The reporter continued to ask. Oh, relaxation. He was just hitting the dividend of the times when entertainment was scarce, which was why his songs were loved by everyone. In the current entertainment industry, his songs may even be difficult to release. He probably knew the reason clearly, so he retired early. Wang Yu said disdainfully with a cold smile on his lips. Zhang Chi is a senior in the music industry. Senior? What senior? But I just created a few songs, even if I'm a senior. Then this senior has gone to sea. After Wang Yu finished speaking, with the help of his assistant, he angrily left. Journalists from dozens of media outlets were stunned and couldn't help but sigh. A few years ago, Zhang Chi shone in the music industry and created more than 10 popular classic songs in just 2 to 3 years, which can be said to be extremely popular. Not long after this, it has been so despised by today's popular singers. Time has passed and things have changed. Jiangqing. In the basement of a villa, the lights were brightly lit. The basement is very large and has been completely emptied and connected, filled with rows of strange machines. Most of these machines look bizarre, some of which are the top high-tech products on the market, such as intelligent robotic arms, ultra-low temperature liquid catalytic converters, plasma colliders, Titan supercomputers, and so on. Some are machines that completely surpass the level of modern technology. Dee. The machine is constantly flickering with lights of different colors, accompanied by the sound of electric currents. In the center of the open space, Zhang Chi is debugging and installing the latest scientific research product, the Hicks Flying Gate. Xiaodu, prepare to start the simulation experiment. After completing the final installation steps, Zhang Chi clapped his hands and said to the artificial intelligence in the studio. These two Hicks flying doors have been studied by Zhang Chi for half a year. After repeated argumentation, design, and research, we have now reached the final stage of testing in simulation. Okay, master. The power is connected, and the energy field of the Hicks Flygate is stable. Monitoring instrument startup, data-driven module establishment in progress. The core power device is started and the data is normal. Simulated creatures are entering, do you want to execute immediately? With the small-scale control of artificial intelligence, all instruments connected to the Hicks Flygate are now starting to work. At present, everything is normal. Boom. The power is turned on, and the simulation of the Hicks Flygate begins. The two Hicks flying doors, which were more than 10 meters apart, simultaneously lit up a faint blue light, and the surrounding air also shook slightly. Zhang Chi's mood is a bit tense at the moment. After all, the development of the Hicks Flygate far exceeds the scientific level of this world. No one has ever tried it before. So, Zhang Chi was also somewhat uncertain about the outcome. However, once the development of the Hicks Flygate is successful, it will be a significant advancement in world science. From then on, humans can easily reach any place through the Hicks Flygate, without the need for traditional transportation such as airplanes, cars, and ships. Not only does it greatly save time, but also greatly improve travel safety assurance. The reason why Zhang Chi wants to develop the Hicks Flygate is precisely because he has seen too many disasters caused by transportation before. Every year, hundreds of thousands of people around the world die in car accidents, air accidents, and maritime accidents. If the development of the Hicks Flygate is successful, these disasters can be avoided and it can bring great convenience to communication around the world. This is an invention that is capable of changing the world. Simulated creatures preparing to enter. After the previous test, the performance of the Hicks Flying Gate was very stable, and now it is only one step away. The relaxed heart also became uneasy, with burning eyes fixed on the Hicks Flygate, not letting go of any detail. Bang! Just as the simulated creature was about to enter the Hicks Gate, a burst of explosions suddenly sounded, and the blue light on the Hicks Gate also went out. The final simulation experiment failed. Xiaodu, prepare to replace with new materials and try again. Success is already within reach, and Zhang Chi can't wait to start a new test. If we could have researched the Hicks Flygate one day earlier, we could have saved thousands of lives and families. Master, there is a serious problem now. Xiaodu suddenly said with some grievances. What's wrong? We're out of money. Xiaodu's eyes were red, and even a few tears of grievance appeared. Ah! Zhang Chi was greatly surprised. I never expected to encounter this very awkward problem. Scientific research is indeed very expensive, especially current research, whether it is equipment or materials, everything can be said to be valuable. Spending tens of millions or even billions of dollars is like a devouring beast. Over the years, at least billions have been invested in it. I used to rely on savings to sustain myself, but now that I don't have any money, I really can't continue. Let's think of a way to make money first. Zhang Chi said helplessly. Now that the research on Hicks Flygate has entered the most crucial final step, it cannot be stopped. A few more experiments will definitely succeed. The only way is to make money first and then come back to study. Previously, Zhang Chi also considered seeking investors or applying for state funding. But they were all rejected. What he is researching is too advanced, and everyone feels that it is impossible to achieve. It is simply a fantasy. Investing is like drawing water from a bamboo basket, and no one is willing to invest even a penny. So, Zhang Chi can only work hard alone. Over the years, Zhang Chi has exhausted all his savings and now he is facing financial difficulties. Chapter 2. That era, called non-mainstream. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. That era, called non-mainstream. There's no money left, how can this continue? Zhang Chi is helpless. A clever woman cannot cook without rice. The theory, design, and construction of the Hicks Flygate have all been completed, and now there is only one final step left for the simulation experiment. We definitely can't give up now. It seems that we can only solve the problem of money first. A few years ago, Zhang Chi traveled to Blue Star, where the environment, ecology, and even technological level were similar to those of his past life. The only surprise is that in terms of entertainment, many well-known singers and music from previous lives have not appeared. After this discovery, Zhang Chi, who was a singer in his past life, quickly rose to prominence in the Blue Star music industry and successfully earned a considerable amount of assets on the platform. However, what Zhang Chi activates is the scientific research system. Zhang Chi has always had a great interest in scientific research, and scientific research has greater significance and role than mixing with the entertainment industry. So Zhang Chi chose to retire and devoted himself wholeheartedly to scientific research and development. Unexpectedly, scientific research is too costly. In just a few years, it depleted billions of dollars in wealth. Xiaodu, take care of your home and I'll go out. After Zhang Chi finished explaining, he quickly packed his luggage and left. Along the way, Zhang Chi quickly browsed through the hottest entertainment programs today, hoping to quickly find ways to make money. Tomorrow's Sun, Xia Guihao Voice, I Am a Singer, Masked Song King. That's it. After picking for a while, Zhang Chi's gaze finally stayed on the Masked Singing King. There is no reason for it. The Masked Singer started broadcasting recently and can earn money as quickly as possible. 2 days later. Jiangnan Television Station. Masked Song King has welcomed a new episode of broadcasting. Overall, the performance is decent, but there are still shortcomings in some aspects. I hope you will work harder in the future. Your voice is not suitable for this song, and there are many areas where you haven't performed well, especially a few transitions where the breath is clearly unstable. In terms of resonance between true and false tunes, there is still room for improvement. After the contestant finished singing, the 5 judges on the judging panel gave their suggestions very tactfully. Thank you, judges and teachers. The singer bowed before hastily stepping down. While waiting for the next singer to come on stage, several judges on the judging panel couldn't help but whisper to each other. The quality of the contestants who are participating in the program has declined too much now. Who said it's not? There used to be some original songs that came with me, but now almost all of them are covers. Cover singing is not a big deal, mainly because my basic skills are too poor and I haven't studied it seriously, so I dare to perform on stage. There's no way. The entire entertainment industry is too restless now, and no one wants to focus on studying. Yeah, it's still better in that era a few years ago. Every year, many classic songs come out, and 100 flowers bloom. It's truly nostalgic. Several judges are very helpless about the current situation. The program is getting more and more popular, but the quality of the contestants has declined too severely. Many times, I want to praise the contestants, but after searching for a long time, I find that there is not even one advantage that can be achieved. This is simply a kind of sadness. Often, in order not to undermine the confidence of the contestants, they can only say something against their wishes when commenting. Too tired. Teacher Wu, what era did you just talk about? The judge sitting next to him, Yinengjing, turned over and asked curiously. Yinengjing has been studying at a music academy abroad before, and has just returned to China for 2 years. He is not very familiar with the domestic entertainment industry before. It's not entirely accurate to say it's an era, but it was only 7 or 8 years ago. At that time, the domestic entertainment industry was not as chaotic as it is now. Recalling the grand occasion a few years ago, the other judges couldn't help but show a hint of longing in their eyes. At that time, there was a genius in the domestic music industry who rose to fame in just 6 months and became famous throughout the country. In the following 2 to 3 years, more than 10 popular classic songs were created. Under his leadership, the entire music industry erupted into a strong creative wave, giving birth to one familiar song after another. Speaking of the past, several judges became excited. That was the best era. The domestic music industry is flourishing and unprecedentedly prosperous. Some small countries around have set the Xia music scene as a benchmark and are eager to imitate the trend of Xia. Especially the most well-known songs directly dominated the annual gold chart abroad for several years. Going abroad, every musician from Xia country feels immensely proud. What is the name of this musical genius? Yining asked in confusion. At that time, she was studying abroad and had heard about the prosperity of the Chinese music industry, but she was not very clear about it. Relax. I will never forget this name in my lifetime. When talking about Zhang Chi's name, several judges showed an immense admiration in their eyes. Back then, Zhang Chi was the towering king who led the Xia music industry to its peak. His music has had a profound impact on a generation. It has become a memory of an era and also a label of an era. What happened later? Later. Thinking of this, the emotions of several judges clearly became low. Later, for some unknown reason, Zhang Chi completely left the music industry and retired. Since he left, the entire music industry seems to have lost its vitality and suddenly fell to the bottom. It's a pity. Originally, he would definitely achieve even more brilliant accomplishments in the music industry. Speaking of which, everyone felt an immense sadness in their hearts. Today's music industry, it is precisely without Zhang Chi as the helmsman that it has become so confused and chaotic, with various demons and monsters emerging frequently. No one is willing to sink down and create anymore. Everyone is just cooking cold rice, all kinds of plagiarism, all kinds of magic modification, it's simply unrecognizable. Has no one searched for him? Yinengjing said. Since the domestic music scene is currently so bad, there must be many people hoping that Zhang Chi can make a comeback. Why not? Even the rest of us have been searching for a long time. Not to mention the fans of Zhang Chi back then. Unfortunately, Zhang Chi seemed to evaporate from the human world, without any trace. Several judges sighed helplessly. The rise and retreat of Zhang Chi were both very sudden, like a shooting star crossing the sky. Shocked the whole world, then disappeared without a trace. Perhaps he has earned enough money and is hiding his name somewhere, enjoying a peaceful life. Many people can't understand why Zhang Chi, who is as red as the sun, suddenly chooses to retire. Think and think. Many people online believe that Zhang Chi has earned enough money and doesn't want to work hard and run around anymore. He has gone to some place to enjoy life. By the way, Teacher Wu, what was the name of the era you mentioned? People in this world like to give a unique name to an unusual period. Since Zhang Chi created such a glorious period, he must have his own exclusive name. That era. Named non-mainstream. Chapter 3. Is it him? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Is it him? While several judges were chatting, another masked contestant stepped onto the stage. After a brief introduction, we have reached the stage where contestants choose songs. Hello judges, this time I have brought my own original song. The contestants confidently said. This sentence comes out. The audience below exclaimed in surprise, and the eyes of several judges on the judging panel also lit up. There have been 5 or 6 episodes where no contestants have brought original songs. It has always been a cover and adaptation, and the level is not very good, everyone is tired of listening to it. Now, finally, an original singer has arrived. Everyone's hearts are filled with anticipation. Okay. Please start your performance. Wu Qixian's voice carried a hint of excitement as he spoke. It's so rare. In the past 2 years, original singers have become a rare species like national treasures on this stage. The audience, who used to be somewhat indifferent, now regained their spirits and looked at the masked singer in the center of the stage with hopeful eyes. Ding dong dee. Ding dong dee. Soon, the prelude to the song sounded on stage. As the rhythm gradually advanced, everyone soon realized that this song was not simple. The melody is very beautiful and familiar. How do I feel like I've heard this song before? Yeah. I also have this feeling. I remember, this is the prelude to Why Not? Yes, it's the popular Why Not from back then. He said it was original, isn't it? No way. No way. Did the spicy man come back? Oh my goodness. What happened? I can't be hallucinating, can I? After hearing the prelude melody, many viewers became excited and shouted loudly. They are too familiar with this song. Back then, this song could be said to be popular throughout the country, known to women and children, and could be heard everywhere in the streets and alleys. Many people have listened to it countless times in a loop, and the melody of the song is simply engraved to the bone. And it was Zhang Chi, who was once known as the god of songs, who created this song. Now, surprisingly, on the stage of the Masked Song King, the melody of Why Not is heard again, and the other party claims to be their own original. So, many viewers have thought of a possibility. Is that Zhang Chi who was hastily retreating from the stage? The sky seems to rain. I really want to live next door to you. Stupid standing downstairs from your house. Lift your head and count the dark clouds. The familiar melody in singing voice echoed again, echoing non-stop throughout the entire recording hall. Has Zhang Chi really come back? This time. Many viewers can't hold their emotions anymore. 5 years. You bastard, finally back. Special, 5 years. Do you know how I spent these 5 years? Zhang Chi, where have you been so far? I've been searching for you so hard. Do you still know how to come back? Why are you wearing a mask? Take off the mask for me. Damn it, I thought you were dead. I'm planning to burn money for you during Qingming Festival. At the beginning of the familiar song, it was as if a giant stone had been thrown into the calm lake, and suddenly a huge wave was stirred up. The entire recording hall was bustling like boiling water. Some people were so excited that they covered their faces and shed tears, some angrily cursed, and some shouted hard. Everyone is venting their emotions in their own way. 5 years. 5 whole years. At this moment, the emotions that have accumulated for 5 years finally have the opportunity to express themselves. The once dazzling relaxation, like the sun, stirred the heartstrings of countless people, but suddenly disappeared without a trace. As if evaporating from the human world, there was no news at all. This makes many people unwilling, painful, and even angry. 5 years have passed. Many people think they have already let go. But when they heard the familiar melody again, they realized they were wrong. The person who had influenced their entire youth back then was always hidden in a corner of their hearts. This. Several judges were also stunned. This scene is not like a recording hall for a variety show, it's like a concert of a superstar. If it weren't for a sudden change, they would have thought that all the viewers were hired by the program team. That's crazy. This is a situation that has never occurred since the launch of Masked Song King. Fortunately, the sound reception on stage was very good, which did not affect the contestants singing. Teacher Wu, this contestant is not the same Zhang Chi you just mentioned. Yining Jing said in shock. Just now when I heard them talk about Zhang Chi's past glory, I thought it might have been a bit exaggerated, but now it seems that not only is it not exaggerated, but it is also somewhat conservative. As soon as the song was sung, the audience seemed to be enchanted. This kind of influence, even if it's a world superstar, is just that. If this song is really his original, it's Zhang Chi. Wu Qixin dared not draw hasty conclusions. The song, Why Not, is too popular, and there are at least a few million people who can sing it throughout the summer in China. The singer of this song may not necessarily be Zhang Chi. But if it's original, it's definitely Zhang Chi. Back then, when the song was released, Zhang Chi completed everything from arrangement to lyrics. Make a moth to put out the fire for you. Nothing is not worth it. Sing this song for you. There isn't much style. It only represents. I hope you are happy. The contestants on stage are still singing. Many of the audience below have already burst into tears. Many people waited hard for 5 years, waiting for Zhang Chi's comeback. On the internet, every fake news about Zhang Chi's comeback can receive tens of millions of views, which is enough to show how much people are looking forward to. Now Zhang Chi suddenly appears on the stage of the Masked Song King. Many people have a feeling of good news coming from heaven. Zhang Chi, Zhang Chi, Zhang Chi, Zhang Chi. Many people coincidentally shouted Zhang Chi's name. At this moment, everyone seemed to have transformed into a representative invited by the program team, with excited emotions and exaggerated expressions. Teacher Wu, do you think it's possible? Li Chen turned aside and asked quietly. Zhang Chi was the first person in the music industry back then. Would he really choose Masked Song King as his first stop for his comeback? I don't think it's very similar. The sound and melody behind it seem to have some differences from the tension and relaxation of the past. Wu Qixin shook his head. At the beginning, the contestant's performance was indeed impressive enough, but by the middle of the song, there were gradually some flaws. Could it be that I haven't sung for so many years, it's a bit unfamiliar? Li Chen guessed. Not at all. Don't forget, Zhang Chi was a god of singing back then. Wu Qixin believes that this possibility is unlikely. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. It's original again, and also, why not? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. It's original again, and also, why not? I tossed and turned for you. Why not give up the world for you? In late summer and cool autumn, there is a hint of warmth. There are seasonal colors. Soon, the singing gradually came to an end, and the contestants' singing also came to an end. The emotions of the audience became even more excited, with cheers and applause echoing throughout the entire recording hall. Many impatient viewers even shouted for the contestants to take off their masks. However, according to the program rules, this move ultimately did not succeed. Several judges gave high scores. Before the contestant stepped off the stage, the judge surnamed Wang still asked unwillingly. Excuse me, is this really your original work? The contestant's answer is also very positive, this is their original song. Suddenly, all the audience agreed. This player is undoubtedly Zhang Chi. Excited fans already wanted to rush to the backstage to find Zhang Chi, which scared the production team to quickly increase the number of security personnel. Program backstage. The contestant who had just finished came to their lounge, and the assistant on the side immediately welcomed them. Great. This concert was really successful. The masked singing king of this episode is none other than you. The assistant was so excited that he was about to jump up. From the performance of the on-site audience, this move is really too successful. A song called, Why Not, instantly ignited the emotions of all the audience, shocking even the 4 judges. From this perspective, the performance achieved better results than expected. Even the assistant himself almost believed it, and after the mask, there was really relaxation. As long as he doesn't appear, I can replace him in the future. The contestant touched the mask on his face and a hint of pride appeared at the corner of his mouth. The other lounge next door. Zhang Chi was sitting in front of the dressing table, looking depressed. Damn it, what's the situation? After a few years of not participating, has the entertainment industry become so chaotic now? Did someone even snatch their own original songs? Zhang Chi is somewhat speechless. The awareness of copyright protection in this world is very strict. Not to mention competing for original content, even if it's a cover, you must obtain permission from the original author. And the other party's blatant claim that, Why Not, is his original song is clearly a guarantee that Zhang Chi will not make a comeback. In addition, the masked song king needs to be masked, and his tricks will not be exposed, which is why he is so reckless. Hee, you're unlucky. I just happened to run out of money. Zhang Chi smiled and didn't expect to encounter such a thing when he just made a comeback. On the stage of the masked song king. The host goes on stage. Just now, this contestant's singing was so great, it feels like a dream from back then. Back then, this song was a household name, and when the melody sounded, I saw many viewers singing along. Upon hearing it again, I am also deeply moved. However, now the question also arises. Could this self-proclaimed original player be the Zhang Chi who has kept us waiting for 5 years? Let's look forward to it together, when the masked singer takes off his mask. Now, please have the next contestant take the stage. After a slight warm-up, the audience's emotions are now being stirred up again. Due to the emergence of Why Not, the popularity of the entire program has increased significantly compared to before. The number of viewers in the live broadcast room has directly increased from 10 million to 30 million. The director of the production team is simply overjoyed at this moment. The program, which had already declined, finally has the momentum to rise again. Front desk, Zhang Chi has already walked onto the stage wearing a mask. This contestant, may I ask what song you brought this time? The judge asked. I also bring my own original song. Zhang Chi said calmly. Original. The judges were slightly stunned when they heard it. What is the situation? Surprisingly, 2 original contestants appeared simultaneously in this issue of Masked Song King. It never appeared before. Is it possible that today is a joyful day? Another original contestant. The audience below also exclaimed in surprise. This is really rare. There have been no original contestants for several consecutive periods before, but this time there are actually 2, and everyone thinks it's worth it. However, with Xu Yu from Why Not at the forefront, everyone's expectations have significantly decreased. In the current atmosphere of the entertainment industry, even occasional original songs have very poor quality, and not many people buy them. This is also one of the reasons why everyone dares not create original content. Okay. Please start your singing. The judges also held a wait.and.see attitude and did not have too many expectations. Ding dong dee. Ding dong dee. Soon, the prelude sounded. Upon hearing the familiar melody again, everyone immediately froze. It seems like this is also Why Not. What is the situation? Nima, both original songs are Why Not. Am I crazy? Or is the production team crazy? Can anyone tell me what happened? Will the same song have 2 original works? That was Zhang Chi just now, what about this one? Who could it be? Suddenly, deep confusion surged in everyone's hearts. The same song, Why Not, unexpectedly produced two original works, which were in the same episode of the program. What the hell is going on here? This song is very familiar to everyone, and the original one is Zhang Chi, the god of singing back then. But now two people suddenly appear claiming to be original, and everyone suddenly feels their heads are bigger. The four judges are even more confused. Just left an original, why did you come with another one? The four of them looked at each other in confusion, each with a clear expression of confusion. Wait a moment, I'm sorry to interrupt. The judge surnamed Wang suddenly stood up and said, let me confirm again, is this song really your original? At this moment, everyone's gaze turned to Zhang Chi on stage. Yes. Zhang Chi gave a very affirmative answer. Are you sure? Sure, definitely and definitely. Zhang Chi burst into laughter. This is also the first time I have encountered this situation myself. Okay. Please start your singing. After multiple confirmations, the judge surnamed Wang had no choice but to sit down. He knew that one of these two people must have lied. Perhaps it can be said that both of them have lied, and there is no tension in this, just two imitators. I just can't figure it out. Why do they have to claim to be their original work to do this? If it is an original niche song, it can still be understood. But, Why Not, is a very popular song. Jumping out and claiming to be original like this is a blatant insult to oneself. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Like. No, this is Teamo himself. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Like. No, this is Teamo himself. The sky seems to rain. I really want to live next door to you. Stupid standing downstairs from your house. Lift your head and count the dark clouds. The familiar melody and singing sound resounded again. At this moment, there was no more excitement and cheers than before, and instead, the scene was silent. Everyone is listening carefully. It seems like I want to distinguish which one is the true original singer. As the song gradually improves, many viewers are starting to struggle to sit still. Nima, this is too similar. Who exactly is fake? It's shameless, even the song God dares to fake. Has Zhang Chi really made a comeback? I feel it, but I don't feel it. The script for this special program team. Gone, using Zhang Chi's comeback as a gimmick for malicious marketing is too despicable. Yes, when the meeting is over, let's give them a 1-star negative review. Many viewers who just made a comeback due to relaxation have now become confused again. At the same time, two self-proclaimed original contestants made them foolishly unable to distinguish. Some people are even more angry and happy. Nai, just now I was so excited that tears came out, it seems like it was in vain. The backstage of The Masked Song King. The contestant who claimed to be original just now has a very ugly face. Originally, I pretended to be Zhang Chi and successfully gained the attention and recognition of everyone. If we continue with this momentum, as long as we wait for a few more episodes, we will definitely gain great exposure. When the time comes, fame will rise, and money will naturally come rolling in. However, who would have thought that the program was not over yet, and Cheng Yaojin came out again. He also claims to be the original creator of Why Not. And obviously, my singing skills are even better than mine. This time. He's panicking. Not only can one's own plan be cut off directly, but there is also a possibility of falling into a copyright infringement controversy. Damn it. Who the hell is this bastard? The fake player punched the table hard and was so angry that his eyes were filled with smoke. Don't worry. We still have a chance. Maybe this person is just a fake. The assistant whispered, comforting beside him. She thought the plan was seamless, but now it has been messed up by someone, and she is also itching with anger. In front of the stage, Zhang Chi is still singing. If a piano appears in the scene, I can sing to you. Even if there are many pots of water pouring down. Drizzle down, drip down. Summer is about to pass. Please buy less ice cream. Don't wear short skirts at dawn. Don't be so naughty anymore. This song has been sung countless times by Zhang Chi, and he is already familiar with it in his heart. Every tone, twist, and detail is perfectly controlled, singing like a fish in water, without any deliberate performance traces, all emotions. This. Dai Jun on the judging panel suddenly exclaimed in surprise. What's wrong? Teacher Dai. The person next to him quickly asked. This feels too familiar. Did he really come back? Dai Jun's face was filled with a strong look of shock, and his eyes were even more focused on the contestants on stage. After so many episodes, it was the first time the people next to him had seen such a shock. Even though the audience and everyone went crazy during the first performance of Why Not, just now, Dai Jun still maintained his usual composure. And now, everyone is still listening quietly. Dai Jun, however, was so shocked that his mouth opened wide and his face froze. Sing this song for you. There isn't much style. It only represents. I hope you are happy. I tossed and turned for you. Why not give up the world for you? Gradually, the song entered the high part, and the relaxed and cheerful singing voice was like a clear spring in a secluded stream, quietly permeating everyone's heart. Unconsciously, everyone's emotions were stirred up. As if instantly carried into the memories of the past. Youth, campus, joy. Sections of pastime scenes unconsciously emerge in my mind like projectors. That was a carefree day. That was a time full of laughter and joy. That is the youth that everyone cannot forget the most. That's the feeling. It was the same feeling when I listened to Why Not back then. That's right, this time it's definitely not wrong. Mom, is this really original? Is he really Zhang Chi? The one I sang earlier sounded very similar, but it felt different. This one better fits the original meaning of the song. I'm confused. My family, who is Zhang Chi, perhaps both are imitators, and Zhang Chi never made a comeback. Soon, the audience on site began to discuss again. With the lessons learned from last time, everyone has clearly become more conservative this time. Although I feel right, I still have doubts. Can it be another counterfeiter? This is too similar, isn't it? The judges on stage couldn't help but sigh. If the previous contestant was similar in appearance, then the current one is simply similar in appearance. But due to being vaccinated earlier, no one dares to misidentify now. Teacher Wu, isn't this really Zhang Chi? Wu Qixian was the most experienced among the four, and Yining Jing couldn't help but look at each other and ask. I was also confused. Wu Qixian answered helplessly. After all, it has been 5 years since I heard Zhang Chi sing. What his situation is now is unclear to everyone. And there is still the biggest question in my heart. Why did Zhang Chi choose to make a comeback at this time? Why did you come to the Masked Song King? Given his position in the music industry back then, which program wouldn't go viral if he participated in it casually? Will anyone deliberately imitate? An original article has already appeared earlier, and everyone's attitude has become cautious. I think it's possible. I have to say, it's really not easy to imitate to this level. This contestant not only has a very similar tone to Zhang Chi, but also has a perfect understanding and control of the song, almost restoring the feeling of Zhang Chi's singing back then. It's amazing. Wu Qixian nodded and praised. Why Not is a song with a strong personal style, and most people can only achieve similarity in form but not in spirit. Both form and spirit are perfect. This is enough to show that this person's singing skills are very impressive. No. You're all wrong. At this moment, Dai Jun, who had been sitting next to him without speaking, suddenly spoke out. Just now, when he heard the middle section of "Why not," his whole expression changed greatly, and he suddenly became like a person, staring at the contestants on stage with burning eyes. A pair of eyes, bright and lively, as if trying to penetrate the mask and see the face behind clearly. As the song gradually approached its end, Dai Jun's confirmation rate in his heart also increased. However, he still couldn't confirm that Zhang Chi was standing on stage. However, when Dai Jun saw the black-framed glasses on the faces of the contestants on stage, his heart that had been hanging for a long time finally landed. No, this is Zhang Chi himself. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. Is this Zhang Chi himself? I don't believe it. Give. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Is this Zhang Chi himself? I don't believe it. Go check for me. Who the hell is he? Zhang Chi was immersed in the stage, and there were even more discussions downstairs. The key to discussion is nothing more than the person standing on stage at this moment and the person who appeared last, who is the true relaxation. Or is it that no one is? In the judging panel, Dai Jun stopped speaking after saying that sentence. However, his gaze was firmly fixed on the relaxed body on the stage, with a faint burst of light in his eyes. And the other judges were somewhat puzzled. To be honest, everyone has no personal relationship with Zhang Chen. That's why after the first Zhang Chi came out, everyone directly recognized that person as Zhang Chi. After the second relaxation, everyone became somewhat indecisive. The reason is that everyone doesn't have much knowledge about Zhang Chi, and even all the judges present don't have Zhang Chi's contact information. Zhang Chi only lives in the memory of a group of people, and the Zhang Chi in the memory is dazzling. After hearing the affirmative words of the old judge, a group of judges quickly asked the old judge why he was so certain that Zhang Chi was standing on stage. And the old judge spoke up. I once collaborated during the peak period of relaxation. But at that time, for some reasons, I didn't speak to Zhang Chi, but I have observed that Zhang Chi has a habit, which is that he always wears black-framed glasses backstage. After speaking, the old judge stopped speaking, but the other judges turned their gaze towards Zhang Chi, as if their gaze had penetrated Zhang Chi's mask. Everyone also saw the black-framed glasses under Zhang Chi's mask, but then someone asked again. Is it a bit arbitrary to assume that Zhang Chi is the one with the black-framed glasses? That's it. With just one pair of glasses. Isn't wearing black-framed glasses on stage also Zhang Chi himself? After hearing the words of the old judge, the audience who were relatively close to the judges in the audience immediately began to discuss. At this moment, Zhang Chi was still singing on stage, and while the audience below listened in ecstasy, they did not forget to discuss the authenticity of Zhang Chi. After all, there are still a few viewers who can hear the words of the old judges, and most of them still see the singing skills between the two people, and so on. I'm really drunk. Zhang Chi has been in retirement for several years now, and I didn't expect that current celebrities would still use his identity to make money. It's really despicable. If it weren't for any relaxation when we reveal the face later, no matter who it is, I will definitely spray them to death. That's it. But to be honest, I feel like neither of these two people is relaxed. I think this one is singing more like Zhang Chi than before. The live audience discussed, but to be honest, there was a moment when everyone felt like Zhang Chi had really made a comeback for the singing on stage. Behind the scenes, the little celebrity who pretended to be relaxed before now has even turned green with anger. I practiced for over a month before gradually aligning my voice with that of Zhang Chi. Even so, I still haven't done a perfect job in some areas of transcription processing. But what's going on with the person standing on stage at this moment? The transitions and harmonies in every place are almost perfect. Is the person standing on stage at this moment really Zhang Chi himself? This idea had just appeared in his mind, and he had already eliminated it. How could it be? Zhang Chi has been in retirement for so many years now. If he wants to make a comeback, or if he wants to create some emotions, he must have come out long ago. But for so many years, there has been no news of relaxation. That's why the backer dares to let him replace Zhang Chi. It's because everyone thinks there won't be a comeback after relaxation. That's why they are so reckless. And the little celebrity who impersonated Zhang Chi was now filled with disbelief in his mind. Where exactly did this person come from? How could you possibly sing better than me? He would never have thought that the person standing on stage at this moment was Zhang Chi himself. He just felt that it might be because the gold owner behind him had found someone more like Zhang Chi to imitate. Thinking of this, the little celebrity who pretended to be relaxed quickly turned his head and looked at the assistant standing next to him. At this moment, the assistant looked at Zhang Chi standing on stage with a bewildered expression on his face. What exactly is the situation with this TMD? I came to work as an assistant for this little celebrity, and it was the big spender behind me who spoke up. But after I arrived, I saw another relaxation from the stage. At that time, the gold owner promised himself that Zhang Chi would never come out and cause trouble. And it also ensures that even if Zhang Chi comes out to cause trouble, he will find a way to prevent the assistant from taking responsibility. But now another relaxation has reappeared on stage. Based on years of experience as an assistant, the person standing on stage singing at this time is already infinitely close to relaxation. Why would such a person appear on stage? Or do you mean, what other ideas does the backer have? For a moment, the assistant stood in place with a somewhat unclear face, so he got up. At this moment, the little celebrity who pretended to be Zhang Chi looked at the assistant and immediately spoke up, questioning. What's the situation? Who the hell is this guy? After hearing this, the assistant didn't know what to say. After all, even the assistant himself didn't know who the person standing on stage was. Immediately, after thinking for a moment, the assistant said. I don't know. Seems to have joined temporarily. As soon as he finished speaking, the assistant looked at the fake and relaxed little star without any trace, as if trying to see something from his expression. But the assistant is destined to be disappointed, because the little star can only see a look of disdain and resentment on his face. Just as the assistant was slightly lost in thought, the little celebrity who pretended to be Zhang Chi continued to speak. What are you still staring at? Hurry up and check for me. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. After singing the 7th chapter, the applause thundered. This is. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After singing the 7th chapter, the applause thundered. Is this the strength of the heavenly king? The assistant's first thought upon hearing the words of the little celebrity was disdain. I have had a career of over 20 years, and if it weren't for the financial support behind that little celebrity, I would never have been able to be his assistant. Even though he has become the assistant of that little celebrity, he has always adhered to the principle of not speaking, just silently doing his own thing. But the current situation no longer allows him to do this. So after hearing the words of the little celebrity, the assistant didn't say anything, but left the room directly to inquire about the matter. After the assistant left the room, the little star's gaze towards the stage was filled with anger. It's ridiculous to say that a person who uses someone else's name to make money would even feel angry when their owner comes. After a moment, the little star couldn't help but pick up the phone and call someone. After the phone was connected, the little celebrity poured a lot of bitterness into the other end of the phone, recounting how difficult it was for him, and then attributed the occurrence of Zhang Chi to the other side of the phone. After the voice of the little celebrity fell, the other side of the phone also fell into silence. For a long time, when the little celebrity was waiting impatiently, the other side of the phone spoke up. After hanging up the phone, the little star's gaze towards the stage was no longer angry, only proud. The phone call just now was obviously made to the gold owner behind the scenes. After receiving a clear response from the gold owner, the little star finally calmed down. In order to make a name for himself this time, the little celebrity has donated some of his own things. If you can't win the championship of the program, then you'll be at a loss. The gold medalist behind the little celebrity has the advantage of Long Yang. When the two get in touch, one person desires a young body, while the other wants fame and fortune, and naturally they are together. Except for a few people involved in the incident, this kind of news is unknown. However, on stage, Zhang Chi's performance continued. At this point, it is already the final climax. I'm singing this song for you, it doesn't have any style. It only represents, I hope you are happy. Why not toss and turn for you and give up the world for you? The song is nearing its end, and the previously discussed audience has now all quieted down, their gaze fixed on Zhang Chi standing on stage. But the staff of the program team were dumbfounded at this moment. The original champion candidate has already been finalized, it is the person who impersonates Zhang Chi. But unexpectedly, a Cheng Yao Jin was killed halfway. Even the director quickly retrieved the information for the competition, which was written as a pure newcomer. Seeing this, even the director couldn't help roast. Is this TMD a pure newcomer? Can your newcomer sing so well? And the other staff members were also a bit unclear at this time, so they got up. In the notice received in advance, it was the first one that had been relaxed before. But who is this standing on stage now? Although everyone knew that the previous Zhang Chi was fake, at some point, everyone still saw the shadow of Zhang Chi on him. This is different. The entire performance can be said to have overwhelmed the previous one. This is known to be fake, and those who don't may even think it's real people. However, in real life, it is also impossible, after all, Zhang Chi cannot make a comeback. But if it were a real person comeback, it would be a pure dimensionality reduction blow. Is Zhang Chi comparable to those traffic enthusiasts? It's obvious, not really. At this moment, with the adjustment of the stage lighting, Zhang Chi's singing also came to an end. But the audience below was completely silent, as if they were still immersed in Zhang Chi's performance for a long time and couldn't extricate themselves. On the scene, one or two scattered applause rang out. Subsequently, it grew more and more fragmented, and ultimately fell into a paradise of applause. Full applause. Even a few judges on the jury stand up at this moment. Watching the dazzling relaxation on stage, Dai Jun's face was full of excitement. At the moment he saw his black-framed glasses, Dai Jun was certain that the person in front of him was Zhang Chi, the king who had led the music industry for several years. The audience on site shouted Zhang Chi's name one after another. As for whether the people on stage are relaxed or not, it no longer matters. What is Zhang Chi? Zhang Chi is faith. No matter where you are, as long as you hear the song of Zhang Chi, it means that this is the country of Zhang Chi's faith. At this moment, the host of the program, Zhang Xiaogang, also stood up. Please give our contestants the warmest applause. As soon as the words fell, the program erupted with windy applause once again. Zhang Xiaogang was still a bit confused when he saw this. Regardless of which contestant, after singing, as the host, I will go to the audience to ask for some applause. But before, the audience only had those supporters leading the meaning. But this time, the applause from the whole audience can be said to have reached a climax. It really makes Zhang Sentinel a bit incredulous. Is it true that the one standing next to me at this moment is the heavenly king Zhang Chi from the past? Fortunately, as the host, Zhang Xiaogang quickly regained his senses and spoke up. I just came up and saw several judges and teachers standing up directly, which shows that everyone is very excited. I believe everyone already knows the face behind the contestant's mask. Next is. Halfway through, Zhang Xiaogang closed his mouth and looked at Dai Jun sitting in the judge's seat with some confusion. I saw Dai Jun make a pause gesture, and after Zhang Sentinel stopped, Dai Jun stood up and pondered for a moment before speaking. I need to interrupt here. Compared to the one standing on stage, we really can't talk about the word teacher. As soon as the words fell, the whole room was in an uproar. Even Yi Ningjing, who was a judge, looked at Dai Jun with a surprised expression on her face. The audience on site was even more excited. Is it really Zhang Chi himself standing on stage at this moment? After a moment of slight surprise, Zhang Xiaogang quickly spoke up to ease the atmosphere and said. Haha. I didn't expect Teacher Dai to have already identified the contestant's identity, but I can't say anything more. Next is the exciting guessing voting session. Please leave. Chapter 8. I persist in my ideas, he is. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. I persist in my ideas, he is Zhang Tianwang himself. After Zhang Xiaogang finished speaking, Zhang Chi didn't say anything, but bowed directly and then turned around to leave. The audience at the scene didn't understand why the contestants had to leave after a round of questioning after singing before. How come when we get here, we just end up with someone? So, the audience on the scene shouted out on the spot. Black screen. This program has a black screen. Seeing the atmosphere at the scene somewhat deadlocked, Zhang Xiaogang was also quite helpless. After all, it was the instructions personally given by the big boss in the background, who said to prioritize the previous person as much as possible. So after the previous fake and relaxed little star finished singing, Zhang Sentinel Gang intentionally or unintentionally continued to chat in front of the audience for a long time. The reason is to leave a deep impression on the audience. However, the total duration of the program has strict time requirements, even if it can be edited at the end. In order to prevent the editor from paying too much attention to the previous contestant, Zhang Xiaogang had to try his best to compress the time of some subsequent contestants. Unexpectedly, this is only the first one, and we have encountered a tough problem. Surprisingly, the audience on site went to shout at the program team for him on the spot. At this moment, Zhang Xiaogang's brain was running wildly, searching for a solution to the problem. Suddenly, a sudden inspiration came to mind, and Zhang Xiaogang immediately spoke up and said. Audience friends, what the director's team means now. As soon as this sentence was spoken, almost everyone was shocked. The judges on the judging table looked at Zhang Xiaogang incredulously, but secretly expressed surprise in their hearts. This sentry post is really brave. Although he is telling the truth, if he says it this way, which wealthy father dares to let him host in the future? After hearing these words, the audience at the scene also became confused. If you don't admit it, we won't be able to do anything about you. But now that you admit it, isn't it because we're causing trouble? It's okay now. Subsequently, the audience at the scene began to spray on the spot. Even the director team felt a bit at a loss when they saw this situation in the studio. What exactly is this sentry post for? When we collaborated before, we didn't drag on his money, did we? What is his situation like this? What does he want to do? So, with a gloomy face, the director came to the control panel intending to pinch off Zhang Sentinel's microphone. Just then, Zhang Sentinel spoke up. Because there was a dispute between this contestant and the previous contestant, the production team approached me and said to complete all the other contestants' procedures first, and then turn around to have a good discussion. You can't take up a lot of others' time just because of the two of them, right? After speaking, Zhang Xiaogang still looked towards the direction of the studio, as if expressing something. And when the director heard some of Zhang Xiaogang's words just now, the idea of pinching the microphone disappeared immediately. After all, it was better for Zhang Xiaogang to find a way to save the scene than to show his mistakes in front of the audience. After hearing Zhang Xiaogang's words, the audience on site also slowly quieted down. After all, Zhang Chi's identity is too sensitive. If what Zhang Xiaogang said is true, then the program team's actions are actually indirectly good for Zhang Chi. If that's the case, why do the audience on site still want to spray? So, upon hearing Zhang Xiaogang's words, the audience immediately quieted down. Immediately, applause began to rise. On the other hand, a group of judges on the judging table began to guess the identity of the contestants. To be honest, everyone has a clear idea of who the contestant truly is. But for the sake of program effectiveness, everyone still pretends not to know where they are and guesses casually. After all, with the money, the expected program effects still need to be fully achieved. Otherwise, the owner of this money probably won't look for him again next time. With such thoughts in their hearts, the judges began to discuss. But the audience at the scene had already understood the true identity of the contestant, and the judges still made such speculations, which would only make the show appear very fake. When it was Dai Jun's turn to guess who it was, he bluntly said, "I still insist on my idea, he is Zhang Chi." After speaking, he handed the microphone in his hand to someone else, and then sat down without saying anything. After seeing this, Yinengjing immediately took the microphone and spoke. Teacher Dai said that the contestant just now was the once popular King Zhang Chi, so what I want to ask is it the previous contestant or the top contestant? You should know that both of them claim to be Zhang Chi himself. After speaking, Yinengjing turned her gaze to Dai Jun and stopped speaking, as if waiting for Dai Jun's answer again. And Yinengjing's words also directly filled the atmosphere of the program. Almost all the audience present were speculating which of those two contestants was the real relaxation. I feel like it's still the one in front of me. Although they don't sing very well, no matter who they are, the song they sing is the same as the one they sang 5 years ago, right? I can't agree with my brother's thoughts upstairs. I feel like the contestant behind me is more similar. After all, no matter how strong a person's stage performance is, it's still better to sing realistically. It's just that the previous person's performance was clearly too exaggerated. Although the behavior and actions were particularly like relaxation, it was because they were too similar that I felt a bit different. Yes. Whose stage movements can be exactly the same as those of several years ago? It's really a group of SBs. The audience on the show were discussing, and when Zhang Chi returned to the backstage dressing room, he happened to encounter the contestant who had previously impersonated him at the door. Zhang Chi didn't want to say anything, just nodded slightly and wanted to leave. But that little celebrity is actually reluctant to let go. The little celebrity reached out to stop Zhang Chi, and then spoke up. Yo. Isn't this Zhang Chi? How about pretending to be me? It's fun, isn't it? Some people just don't get popular and just think about pretending to be others. They are really scumbags. You're right, Zhang Chi. After speaking, he looked at Zhang Chi with a proud expression and stopped speaking. But on his face, there was an expression that showed that I was truly relaxed. After seeing the little star's behavior, Zhang Chi immediately felt a bit confused. Fortunately, I am Zhang Chi, otherwise I would really think he is. Thinking so in his heart, Zhang Chi didn't want to say anything, just nodded slightly and then walked away. Seeing this situation, the little star's mentality instantly collapsed. At this moment, the director smoking in the studio received a call. Chapter 9. I don't know why, but I feel like You are listening at novelfull.audio. I don't know why, but I feel like I've been living under his shadow all along. After seeing the notes on the phone screen, the director's expression became strange and he immediately walked out of the studio. On the other hand, as Zhang Chi left the field, the remaining few contestants also began their performances. But due to the overly nice singing of the young celebrity who impersonated Zhang Chi and Zhang Chi himself, the audience on site did not care about their performance. The on-site audience was still immersed in the just relaxed performance, and the remaining few people's performances did not pay much attention at all. After seeing this, those contestants really wanted to curse, but when they thought this was a live show, if it were recorded, their career would probably be ruined. Helplessly, the remaining contestants had to hurry to sing before leaving the stage. Do you feel like this person is so different from Zhang Chi? Brother, did you say the wrong thing? How could such a traffic celebrity dare to compare with our Zhang Tianwang? Is there comparability here? It's obvious that there's no such thing, okay? This. I still think the first, why not, on stage sounds better. Excuse me, are you deaf? The audience on the show were still discussing relaxed singing during other people's performances. This is really frustrating for the few contestants who will come on stage later. Some even said in post-match interviews, I feel like I've been living in the shadow of Zhang Chi all along. No matter what, when I perform on stage, all the audience below are discussing that Zhang Chi. I really don't understand what's good about this kind of person. There are no decent movies or TV shows, and they still retire. Why come out and do it? As soon as this statement came out, the netizens of Xia instantly exploded. This kind of person really doesn't want anything for the sake of fire. Are you saying that Zhang Chi doesn't have a representative work? Just one, why not, can directly beat almost 99% of the songs in the music industry today. As for you, want to become popular under the name of Zhang Chi? Want traffic? Sure. No problem at all. As long as you can handle it, we'll give you whatever you want. So, after the broadcast of that program, the 18th generation celebrity who played the role of mocking Zhang Chi was directly bombarded by the netizens of Xia and withdrew from the music industry. At least that's what the outside world is saying, but the specifics are still open to debate. Of course, these are all part of the following. After the amateur performers finished singing, Zhang Xiaogang came out daily to ask for applause and encouragement from the audience. But whoever said that the thunderous applause from Zhang Chi disappeared without a trace? Zhang Xiaogang felt a bit awkward, but after all, he was also an elderly person in the hosting industry. In an instant, he changed the topic and said, "Please rate this contestant's performance by a few judges and teachers." As soon as the words fell, Zhang Sentinel felt a bit awkward for himself. What score does this TMD score? It's just an evaluation. So, for the sake of program effectiveness, Zhang Xiaogang immediately spoke up again as soon as he uttered that sentence. Oh. No. It's a review. Ha ha ha. Please evaluate our contestants, judges and teachers. After hearing Zhang Xiaogang's words, several judges were also a bit confused for a moment. What is the situation with this TMD? This kind of statement should have been brought up by the judges. But what did this outpost say? This is clearly my line. What he said is my line. Of course, another aspect is to say, what is evaluation? When did you evaluate others yourself? Isn't it just saying that I'm going to roll with the contestants at this time? One then guessed the identity of the contestant. What the hell is this evaluation? With such thoughts in their hearts, the judges did not expose it, just casually evaluated the contestants in a decent manner, and then let them step down. Like Dai Jun, he didn't speak at all, as if he was reminiscing about Zhang Chi's performance just now. Afterwards, no one will watch the program anymore. After almost all the contestants come up to perform, the judges casually evaluate them and then let them step down. The audience on site, on the other hand, showed no response throughout the entire performance, but after watching all the performances with an indifferent expression, they began to look forward to it. What are you looking forward to? Nature is the next round of performance. After thinking that the contestants had stepped down at the end, the judges communicated and decided on the 4 contestants to advance. One judge has 5 votes, and one audience member has 1 vote. Not long after, the result came out. Among them, the 2 most controversial, Zhang Chi, have all advanced, followed by 2 girls. All 4 of them advanced, but Zhang Chi's vote count was second, and the one who impersonated Zhang Chi's vote count was first. After seeing this situation, Dai Jun was about to stand up and say something, but was immediately pressed down by a judge beside him. After whispering a few words, Dai Jun became angry and stopped speaking. There is a dark curtain here, Dai Jun knows it. Before the start of the program, the directing team found themselves, and all they revealed inside and outside was to ensure that the person who impersonated Zhang Chi would advance. But that's because Dai Jun didn't know that Zhang Chi was participating in this episode. Now, with Zhang Chi participating, it's a bit unreasonable to let the person impersonating Zhang Chi get the first place, isn't it? With such thoughts in his heart, Dai Jun had the idea to end this farce. But after being stopped by someone, Dai Jun instantly calmed down. Immediately, a sentence rang in my ear. If you make a fuss now, things won't end well. You have to trust Zhang Chi, as the Heavenly King, he has the ability to win the final championship. Upon hearing these words, Dai Jun understood and immediately looked gratefully at Yi Ningjing sitting beside him. Yi Ningjing stopped looking at Dai Jun after saying those words. The audience also has no objection to this situation. After all, no one knows who the true relaxation is between the 2 of them. So, with no objection from anyone, the names of the 4 contestants who successfully advanced to the next level appeared on the big screen. 2 girls, there are also 2 relaxation. Chapter 10. I am Zhang Chi, still using imitation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. I am Zhang Chi, still using imitation. At this moment, the list of qualified candidates has come out. The rankings were also arranged in sequence, and Zhang Chi watched the rankings in the background, feeling a burst of interest in his heart. But Zhang Chi didn't think much either. After all, in the era of relaxation, it was truly through strength that one debuted. If you don't have the strength, no matter who is standing behind you, you will eventually brush it off. So at this moment, seeing Zhang Chi behind the rankings, I never thought there would be a dark side involved. Looking at the ranking, Zhang Chi also found it interesting to see the little celebrity impersonating him in his heart. By impersonating oneself, one can even become the first, which is enough to show that that person still has some strength. But it only exists in areas with a little bit of strength. No matter how well you sing, it's just that you can imitate yourself. And on the other hand, imitating others actually means losing some of one's own things. Zhang Xiaogang stepped onto the stage and spoke. The promotion list has been released, and after a series of discussions, the judges unanimously decided to perform again in the order of ranking. Next, let's invite the first contestant to come on stage. As soon as Zhang Xiaogang finished speaking, he left the stage. On the other hand, Zhang Chi got up and went to the toilet. On the way back to the dressing room, I happened to meet the little star heading to the stage. After seeing it, Zhang Chi only hesitated for a moment before planning to return to his room. But the little celebrity who pretended to be Zhang Chi couldn't resist seeing Zhang Chi. I saw the little star blocking Zhang Chi, and immediately started to mock him. Yo, I thought who it was. Isn't this our big star, Zhang Chi? Isn't it the Heavenly King? How could I be outdone by a fake person like me? It's really one moment at a time. You don't know yet. There's a big shot behind me endorsing it for me. Listening to the words of the little celebrity, Zhang Chi suddenly froze in place. What exactly does this guy want to do? Are you still shameless? Are you here to curse? With such thoughts in his heart, Zhang Chi did not speak up to diss the little star. Because the last sentence from the little celebrity just made Zhang Chi feel a bit confused. Is there a big shot endorsement behind the scenes? Does it mean that the program has a dark screen? At this thought, the relaxed expression instantly became playful. And the little star did not restrain himself, but instead spoke up vigorously. You don't even pee and see what you look like. Zhang Chi is also someone like you who deserves to imitate. After speaking, he left his place with a disdainful expression and walked towards the direction of the stage. Zhang Chi, on the other hand, stood still for a while before realizing it. Am I imitating myself? What the hell? Do I still need to imitate? I am Zhang Chi himself. After returning to the room, Zhang Chi was constantly pondering something in his mind. I originally participated in variety shows to get a bonus, but it doesn't matter whether I won first or second place, to be honest. Because Zhang Chi's goal is the starry sea. Does the sparrow know the ambition of the swan? That Zhang Chi naturally doesn't have the time to deal with such jumping clowns. But the words of that little celebrity completely aroused Zhang Chi's desire for survival. Zhang Chi's gaze turned to the TV in the room, which happened to be the moment when the little celebrity came on stage. Watching the demeanor of the little celebrity who pretended to be himself appear polite, Zhang Chi smiled. Now, things seem to have become more interesting. On the other side, the little celebrity stood on stage, greeting the audience and judges before waiting for their questions. And the group led by Dai Jun and others believe that only those who come after will truly relax, just with a dark face and no longer say anything. At this moment, Yinengjing still stood up. Because this identity is disputed, please start your performance directly. After speaking, Yinengjing also stopped speaking. After hearing these words, the on-site audience all expressed their agreement. But those who believed that the person standing on stage at this moment was Zhang Chi himself, some of the audience members, began to curse loudly. And the little celebrity who impersonated Zhang Chi was even more embarrassed. However, in order to maintain his character, the little celebrity signaled and then started singing. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.